great definition given some by, like I picked it from the wiki. So great explanation of the change. Everyone improves with change. Change is good for IT and non-IT, like retail, automation, application development, and everything. Can come in any form: improvements, scale, feedback, tuning, fix, etc. So why we have chosen this word change here, for as a training purpose. So like every industry, it goes through a change, and the people who are hesitate to accept the change, they lose the market. For example, if I'll take example of Kodak, or if I'll take example of uh, Nokia, they were not accepting the change which came in market, and because of that they lost the market, complete market. So change is something which every industry has to adopt, then only they'll be successful in the market. So change is good for everyone. So DevOps, it's again a culture change which is a high demand in market, and all the companies, whether it's like small scale company, mid-level companies, or high-level companies, they are accepting this change, DevOps, and that is the reason DevOps is very hot in the market. So any questions on that? I mean, why change and why DevOps is so much hot in the market? Okay, I think we have to set few rules, then only we can take the things forward for this classroom training program. So here for this training program, we'll set few rules, and if we'll follow that rules, then we will make this session more interactive for everyone, and by end of the session the takeaway would be more. So the first rule is, if you have any question, when I will be explaining, or whatever I explained, then just type in chat window that I have a question. So once after topic is finished, I'll take the questions, and after the questions, your questions, participants' questions are finished, then I'll ask questions. So it's not like I'll be only talking, I'll keep on asking you, so that you will also be, having complete interaction with the session, and you will able to answer my questions. The second thing is, as I told, we are going with the new DevOps methodologies. So in this training program also, we'll follow a few of the latest training techniques, which will ensure like whatever things we are discussing are completed with these modern training programs. So for example, there's a term called definition of done. How will ensure like whatever things we are discussing, whatever course curriculum we are discussing are completed, that will denote with the help of definition of done. So what will be the definition of done over here? Like first we'll discuss about the topics for any tool, any theoretical concept, then we'll discuss about something on examples. And the third is we'll take some hands-on exercises. And the last is question answers. So this is the definition of done for this training program. If you would like to add anything over here, definitely we'll add your suggestions over here. So one more thing is like in this training program, we'll try to keep more hands-on part, more practical part, so that everyone should have a better understanding on DevOps. So we'll follow 70-30 model. Like 70% will follow the practicals, more hands-on, and 30% will follow the theory part. So today's and tomorrow's session, since we are going to understand what is DevOps, why it's need of DevOps, what is the different keywords and philosophy of DevOps, maybe it's more theoretical, but from Monday onwards, we'll picking up one by one the tools part, which is more on the practical side, and I feel you'll enjoy more, and at the end of the session, your takeaway will be more. So if no questions, I am moving to the slides so that we'll cover most of the DevOps topics. So we understood what is change, why change is so important, and what is the benefit of adopting a new change. So DevOps, it's a new keyword buzz or a philosophy or a culture change which is accepted by multiple companies and many more companies to accept this change. That's why it's quite hot in the market, a kind of trend in the market nowadays. Moving on to the SDLC lifecycle. So SDLC is what? So process followed to incorporate changes phase by phase within a product. Very much correct. And we all are from engineering background. So SDLC lifecycle, I believe, is not a new concept for anyone. Defines tasks carried out at each phase. Ensure delivered product meets quality and compliance. Different models followed. So to deliver a product, we have to go through SDLC lifecycle, software delivery lifecycle. And we have multiple phases over there, like analysis phase is there, design phase is there, develop phase is there, test phase is there, and deploy phase is there. And this SDLC lifecycle will be delivered with the help of different models, delivery models available in market, like waterfall model, iterative model, spiral model, and agile model. For this training program, since we are going with DevOps, so the latest delivery model in the market is Agile. So we'll use most of the terms of Agile so that we will have a better understanding on DevOps areas. Moving on to the next part, different teams and responsibilities. So in SDLC lifecycle, mainly we have 3 technical teams which usually take care of most of the phases. So technical team in the terms of developers, architects, and vendors, different vendors who give the requirements. So technical teams, they take care of the requirement development. I mean, they take the requirement, develop the product, and they'll do the enhancement. It's like a very important team in the SDLC lifecycle because they are completely into development and they take care of small requirements. Moving on to the quality assurance team, they are again an important kind of team. They take care of testing part, like let's say in a product which is being developed or which is going to be delivered, then testing teams or quality assurance teams, they ensure that product meets with the expected quality or not. So that's why they are an important part of SDLC lifecycle. So they do many things like manual integrations, manual testings, acceptance testing, load testing, performance testing. They do a kind of market analysis for everyone so that we can easily stamp or verify the code which is getting delivered or already delivered. The last important team in the SDLC lifecycle is operations team. Operation teams could be hardware, operating system delivery team, network storage team, monitoring teams, support teams, or different vendors within the operations team. So in the operation teams, we can say customer care teams also fall into the operations team. And operational teams can cater 24/7 support, L3, L4 supports, L1, L2 supports. So all kind of different support teams come into the operations teams. They take care of the live product which is going on, like maintenance of the live product. So this team is like quite important team in the SDLC lifecycle. So if I'll go as a recap, so we have understood now in the SDLC lifecycle, we have dev team, we have testing team, we have ops team. So every team has its own responsibilities. So we'll see like what is the motive of having these teams in the next slide. Speed of delivery in terms of having dev team, QA team, ops team, And again, requirements comes from business team. Business team as in who are giving funding to your project, or maybe your end customers. So for them, what is the important? In terms of speed of delivery. For them, time is money. They want to cater the market. They want to utilize the complete market. So time is money for them. I mean, as soon as you'll deliver the feature, they'll start doing the trading. That is only the way they can make the money. Eager to launch new products. Since the market is competitive for them, they are very much eager to launch new products into the market. Eager to expand business. So since again it's a competitive market, so they are eager to expand their business in multiple places with a less span of time, so that they'll get more money and they'll capture more market. So speed of delivery for the business guys is time of money, eager to launch new products, eager to expand business. Now when it comes to the development team, what is the speed of delivery for them? Can accommodate demanding business requirements. So they are happy to accommodate whatever requirements are coming from business. I mean, they are ready, and their engineers, their teams, they are happy to accommodate whatever new requirements are coming, whatever new enhancements are coming. They are change heavy or friendly. They are happy to accept new changes in terms of, introducing a new feature or developing a new piece of code. So they are quite happy to accept any change. Now comes to the QA team. QA and testing functions as a bridge between all disciplines from clients and business to development and operations. So QA teams, they fall in both the areas like dev team and the ops team, and their job is to certify any kind of code which is getting developed by dev team and any fixes which is taken care by ops team. They have to stamp both kind of codes. So they are kind of a sandwich layer between dev and ops. So we can say like QA, it has to go hand in hand with dev and hand in hand with ops as well. So their speed of delivery is like they have to maintain a great licensing between dev and ops team, and they have to certify their different codes. Now it comes to ops team, operations team or the maintenance team, not willing to accommodate frequent changes, stability heavy, always busy with ongoing issues, hardly couple of deployments per month. Now the problem comes when you want to push a new change, because for business they want the change to be pushed into the production as soon as possible. Ops teams are not ready to accept that change. They say ongoing business is more important for them, and they're always busy with the ongoing issues. They are not user friendly in terms of accepting new change. So this is a kind of bridge between dev and ops team. Like dev team, they are happy to accept a new change, but ops team, they are not happy to accept a new change. For them, stability is more important rather than launching a new feature. So this is a basic or theoretical definition in terms of what is dev, what is QA, and what is the ops. So moving to the next slide. Yeah, I mean, someone has told very good things, and without good interpersonal harmony, your business cannot adopt a change in the competitive landscape. So as I explained in my previous slide, ops team and dev team, they are not working together. They are sitting in silos. Their priorities are different. Dev, they are happy to accept new changes. The ops team, they are not happy to accept new changes, and business wants a feature to be delivered as soon as faster so that they will stand in the competitive market. So this is a kind of lacking thing which was there in the industry for ages, and this gap was fulfilled by DevOps. So that's why this statement come in picture. Without good interpersonal harmony, your business cannot adapt to changes in the competitive landscape. So as and when we'll move in the next slides and upcoming sessions, like in the future, you'll come to know how DevOps will fill this gap and how it will enable all these teams to work together. So now, like we understood, like now dev team and ops team, they have to work together. Then only we can deliver features in a faster pace, and great quality of features we'll able to deliver. So let's see what is the DevOps definition by incorporating all these ideas. So DevOps is a culture change and applying set of practices which is enabled by automation tools and linear processes. So if I read this statement again, DevOps is a culture change and applying set of practices. So there is a myth in market that DevOps is a technology. Like in the introduction part, all the candidates told they want to learn DevOps because it's hot in market and it can be applied with multiple technologies, multiple domain. So we have to understand here, DevOps is not a technology, it's a culture change. That's why it can be applicable for any domain and any tool set and a technology stack, which is enabled by automation tools and linear processes. So to enable DevOps in any of the domain or any of the technology stacks, there's certain set of tools are available which will help us to enable DevOps and linear processes. So like in SDLC models, delivery models, earlier, like if I'll go back 4 or 5 years back, so we were using, or most of the companies, they were using waterfall model. But like in 4 or 5 years of time, companies are adopting agile processes for their delivery. No one wants big bang releases now. They want a small incremental releases. And for that reason, linear processes have come in market in the form of agile. And DevOps, they are helping to deliver this small, processes or linear processes by applying different automation tools. So linear processes are referred by agile principles. So as I told, linear processes are again, which is referred by agile principles. So Saurabh is there in the call. He's an agile coach and expert. So if you have any questions during the course training program, you can very well approach to Saurabh. I mean, he'll able to answer on the agile front. So agile is a process which will streamline, the complete delivery model, and DevOps is a tooling mechanism which will which will help to deliver the agile methodologies for a delivery model. So what DevOps is doing here, by using agile principles, DevOps has enabled development and operation teams to work together. So as I've seen in the previous slide, there is a major gap between the working style of dev and the ops, but the motive is same. We have to deliver high quality of products and we have to deliver in the faster pace. So these both teams has to work together, and that's why DevOps come in picture. And we can see like in the DevOps, dev teams, ops teams, and QA teams, which is like a sandwich between dev and ops teams, they have to work together. And that is how DevOps concept has come in market. So any questions from the audiences? Siddharth, Anudeep.
Yeah. And what we are going to do, I mean, you said that dev team, ops team, QA team, I mean, the whole thing we are going to do, or that for, I mean, for development, is there any separate guy, or for operation team, there is separate guy, or else are we going to do the combined thing? I mean, we are going to do
Okay, so good question. So dev teams and the ops teams, here they'll be working together. So as of now, what is happening is what dev teams are doing, ops teams are not aware. What ops teams are doing, the dev teams are not aware. So we'll introduce few tools and mechanisms in between which will enable both the teams to work together and get an understanding of others areas. Like dev team, they'll get a better understanding of ops team areas, and ops team they'll get a better understanding of dev team's area by enabling and by launching few of the tools in between. So with the help of DevOps, we will be automating their areas. Like for dev team, if they're writing a code, then what are the principles of the code while writing the code, or maybe what are the audit processes are there, what are the code qualities that are there. These things will be automating. So any point of time, ops team can come, and because they have automated tools available, they can understand DevOps or dev areas as well. The same when dev team people, they'll come in ops area. So we will be automating most of the ops areas, like deployment areas or application servers, web servers, monitoring part. So we are automating ops people area. So now dev team also can get their hands dirty in the ops area because most of the things are automated. They can manage the things from ops area. So now they're working together. So there is no dependency like I'm a dev guy, I can't do operations work, and there is an ops guy, he cannot say I can't do DevOps work. So both have to work together and deliver the things.
And so we'll be acting as bridge between dev team and ops team.
Yeah, so the idea behind is give everything in one person hand, like rather than having multiple teams here and there, give everything in one person hand, be it a QA guy or be it a dev guy or be it a ops guy, and let them work together.
Yeah.
So any other questions from other participant?
No, I'm good.
Afika?
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's okay.
Okay. So I think so far I've covered small,
Mhm.
small and the basic things. So I think everyone should be comfortable about dev teams, ops team, QA team, SDLC lifecycle and other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so just now we have discussed about like, what is the responsibility of dev and what is the responsibility of ops and can they do each other's job or not. So yeah, so next slide states the same. Deployment of web and application servers need special skill. So this is a kind of job profile for operations team. For example, like I was working like for one of the retail client, the retail giant in US, the Walmart. So we had there in the ops side, we had 1,000 servers wherein our website was speeding, and we had to deploy our artifacts in the 1,000 servers together. So it was not possible for a development team to understand what is the pain points of the deployments, how the configurations are there in these 1,000 servers, because we have to manage a lot of things, the fine tuning, clustering part, how it will be talking to the different downstream applications, upstream applications. So that was the entire world. So the roles and responsibilities was quite different. So here, like that was the biggest gap between dev and ops understanding, because it needs special skill. So with the DevOps, we can bridge that gap. So the next thing is developer has little knowledge on application and servers. I mean, they can understand on one or two application servers, as in because they are deploying their code in their local environment. Let's say they have developed a Java artifact or a DLL file. Now they have to deploy that particular piece of code into the respective servers, be it a JBoss server or IIS server or Tomcat or Apache or whatever. So they have a little understanding. I mean, in an ocean, they know a drop about, okay, this is a particular server, I have to deploy my code, and this is working fine. Now I have to ask ops team to deploy in the higher environments. My job is over. So they don't have much understanding on the ops side. So now ops guys, they doesn't know about dev, and dev team, they doesn't know about the ops things. So operation teams install and manage application servers but doesn't know about development. So same thing here. They know about their application servers, they know about the installations part, their configurations part, but really they don't know about what is development, how development is happening. Need people who are both developers and operations to resolve. So by having all these three problem statements, we need people who understand development and operations and who can work together, and they can understand the pain points of each areas, so that we'll not have multiple dependencies here and there. Like in the today's world, or maybe if I'll go 2 years back, in most of the companies, or maybe the 100% companies, teams were sitting in silos. Development team, they are sitting in one corner, testing team, they were sitting in one corner, support team, they are sitting in one corner, operations team, they are sitting in another corners, and maybe they are connected with a small tool, remedy tool, ticketing tool, or maybe they are connected with the mails. But they were like in the silos, they were not aware of roles and responsibilities, plus then deep mechanism what people are doing. So in DevOps, we are filling that gap. We are putting everyone's in the same floor, on the same table, and we are prompting them to work together as a team, not as a different team, as a single team, and deliver as much as we can to do the faster time to market and deliver the great quality of product. That is how, the gaps are there between ops team and the dev team. Yeah, so like now our job is like how we can overcome the challenges by including dev and ops team. So the biggest challenge what I thought while I was drafting this slide was new change request for software development. Like let's say I'm a developer, I'm getting daily few of the change requests, I mean a new change request or an announcement request. So how I'll make ops team to understand what is this new change request which is coming, and if I want to deliver that change request immediately into the production, then how I'll enable this, particular pipelines. And if there is something which is going wrong, how easily I can detect that problem, issue, incident in the production, and how ops team can help us to identify these problems. Design, development, testing, and release. So if a new change has come to the development team, then they have to do a design, development, testing, and release. I mean, release part will be taken care by ops team. So again, how ops team will understand about design, development, and maybe a little bit on testing, and how dev team, they'll understand about testing and the release cycle. And again, yeah, so the next challenge for the DevOps series, packaging, distribution, and deployment. Packaging as in sense like if I want to, I'm a developer, if I want to deliver a particular change, then how best I can do a packaging like jar, war file, DLL file. And once they are ready to be shipped into the production or the higher environment, there is a possibility like, jar files or war files or a DLL files, they usually will be in a flat file system, .jar file or .war file, and they have to be zipped form. So while delivering them, they has to be unzipped form. Then only server will be able to, resolve all the dependencies. So development guys, they understand we have to do a packaging in the form of a flat file. But while doing the deployment, ops team doesn't know whether they have to unzip the file or not. So this is kind of, understanding gaps between ops team and the dev team. And the next is distribute. So distribute I'm referring here. If I want to roll in a particular change or I want to roll back a particular change, then how effectively I can do these operations. So let's say today I've deployed X line of code. Down the line after 5 months I have to deploy it again. Then I'm not maintaining any version or I'm not keeping any version of the artifact somewhere. So maybe if I want to deploy the same change after 5 months, then I may be losing the particular change, or I have to do another build. I have to do again, build process or a development process again. But in DevOps, we have certain tools are there which will cater these problems. We'll after creating the packages, we'll be putting somewhere as a versionized form wherein these changes will be there or these artifacts will be there forever, and any point of time if we want to do a rollback or roll in, we'll pick the change and we'll be able to deploy into the environment. So this is like an important challenge which can be overcome by DevOps. Ongoing software operations or running the system. So now this is a pain point area for the operations guys. Like when ongoing software operations are going on, when the trade is happening and you want to bring in more and more change, then do we need to compromise with the trade? Do we need to stop all the trading mechanism and will allow the new changes to come, or how we'll be handling? So in the release management world, we call it as a zero downtime deployment. So guys, I believe we have never seen Walmart site is going down for like, 5 hours or 10 hours in a month or in a day or in the night time just to do a deployment, just to enable a new feature into the website. So this term we are calling as a zero downtime deployment, wherein your business will be on and you have to cater multiple changes which are keep coming on your way. So the ongoing software operations are running the system. So when operations are running that time, how you will identify the changes, how you will accept the changes, how you will avoid any downtimes, and how you will keep the trading on. So these are the few challenges on operations team. So again, DevOps will enable development teams to help ops team to identify these changes and to help them to keep trade on. Yeah. So far we understood about what are the different teams which are identified into the DevOps areas, what are the different challenges in the DevOps areas, what are the gaps between DevOps, different teams sitting here and there. And based on so far's discussion, now we are going to discuss what is the benefit of having DevOps in the industry. So first important thing is faster time to market, or maybe the faster and frequent releases to market. So I understand you people are new to the industry. I mean, you never worked in the IT anytime as a real-time experience you don't have. But in the SDLC life cycle with the waterfall model, if I'll go back 3, 4 or 5 years back, people used to do a big bang releases. As in like 3, 4 months releases. They used to deploy their changes after a cycle of 3, 4 months. So what was the issue people were facing, when they were deploying a change after having a 3, 4 months of cycle? Like at the end of the deployment or at the end of the SDLC life cycle, they were ending with so many defects, incidents, unforeseen changes, and which will result a bad user feedback, like customer experience was not great. So the only solution was we have to adopt agile practices, wherein we are not doing a big bang releases of 3, 4 months. We are doing small incremental releases, and that releases should be fast. Like let's say I'm a developer, I'm developing a feature, and to develop that feature I got 2-week sprint. Sprints is a frame to develop a particular feature. Then the moment that feature is being built, how soon I can deliver the feature into the production. So there are two advantages. If I deliver immediately a feature into the production, I'll come to know immediately if there is any defect or incident which is being identified. It can be reported back to the business team or development team immediately. The second advantage is immediately you'll come to know what the customer experience, the end user experience, so that based on that you can take next decisions to deliver or to roll in the next feature. Like in this competitive market daily, if I'll take the example of retail, daily new kind of challenges are coming, new kind of market promotions are coming, new kind of features are coming. So if you are delivering or if you are rolling your features in an incremental way, then easily you can get a new stand of next feature which is to be delivered. Like whether this feature, what we are going to deliver, whether any other competitive world, any other our vendor would have released, there isn't make sense to invest in that particular feature or not. So all these kind of feedbacks we can easily get by using the agile methodologies, by reducing the delivery time frames. So again, in the DevOps terms, that is nothing but faster and frequent releases to market. And the second benefit is ensure high quality of delivery code and the product. So when I'm releasing the product in a very short span of time with the small features, and I'm getting a feedback fast, then definitely my product quality will be improved and user customer satisfaction will be improved. So we are in that way we are delivering high quality of deliverables in terms of delivering the code and the products. And because of this life cycle is now shorter, than our feedback loops are again shorter. After 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks of sprint, and immediately we are delivering a feature into the productions. So we are getting a feedback on 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks only. We need not to wait for 3, 4 months, and based on that we can plan our next steps, whether next feature has to be delivered or not. So our feedback mechanism is faster. The next point is helps for digital transformation. So nowadays trading mechanism has been changed. People are going with IoT, big data, and people are going with the mobile for the trading. The legacy trading mechanism completely on the web store are going out from the market. So this is digital transformation wherein all the companies are going for the trading mechanism. So DevOps, it helps all the companies or all the business lines to do a digital transformation from a legacy portfolio to a modern DevOps portfolio by enabling all the DevOps tools and agile principles. So these four features are like, outcome of the DevOps, which caters or enables most of the problems which people are facing into the market. And I would say, like in this course, when you learn most of the tools and by end of the session, you'll able to relate these four benefits in line with all the tools what we are going to learn. So any questions from audiences so far?
So
Anudeep?
what are the tools we are gonna learn? I mean, is it like testing tools?
Uh, so we have kept this curriculum for tomorrow, but if you want,
Okay.
we can. I'll give you a little bit of idea like today. It's not the
Okay.
testing tool. This is a set of tools. We'll be covering around total 10 tools,
Okay.
which will cater different areas. As
Okay.
Anudeep was asking about CI/CD part, so few tools belongs to CI, few tools belongs to CD, and little bit we'll see how we can integrate these tools with the testing tools.
Okay.
Testing goes hand in hand with the ops and dev teams.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll not be learning actually any testing techniques, but we'll learn how to integrate testing techniques with the help of these tools.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, this course curriculum has been designed to understand most of the important tools which are landed into the DevOps world. Like there are around 40-50 tools are there, but we'll pick the best around 8 or 10 tools. And since you guys are fresher, so the agenda of the course should be like you should understand more rather than you will confuse more. So that is the reason we'll be picking up the best tools. So if you would like to understand today only, we'll discuss a little bit on the tooling side by end of the session. So Anudeep, Siddharth, any question from your side?
Yeah. Yeah. Once can you explain with the point, with the third point, helps for digital transformation?
Yeah, definitely. So, if I'll go back 3-4 years back, the online trading was happening through a web portals. I am from the retail background, so mostly trading was happening through web, websites, Target.com, Tesco.com, Walmart.com, or many other details are there in the market. So the trading was happening through only web portals. Now the market trend has changed. When you search anything on any of these websites, let's say Walmart.com or maybe Target or Tesco.com, so immediately that product's promotion will start coming on your Facebook page or Twitter page. So that is nothing but Internet of Things, IoT. Since you have searched some information, that information would have been saved in your cookies, and Facebook or Twitter or maybe Truecaller in phone, they're picking this information from the cookies and they'll start showing you promotion. So this is a new mechanism of trade. The another mechanism of trade is mobile, like the traditional method of doing a shopping from a web portal is going out from the market. People are moving to the mobiles, tablets, and other gadgets. So this is nothing but industry. We call it as a digital transformation. To do a digital transformation, we have to move our technologies from a legacy platform or a legacy process to a modern technologies or modern processes. To do this, like if I do through the traditional waterfall model or traditional approaches what we have, it will take ages. So we'll not able to cater our market challenges. So with the help of DevOps, we can easily move and in a very short span of time we'll move from a legacy portal to a modern technology stack. So that's why this is a digital transformation, and DevOps and Agile, like it's a kind of backbone or a input or a feeding process for digital transformation.
Okay.
So does it answer your question?
Yeah.
So any other thing so far?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, you said that there will be around 40 to 50 tools. I mean, companies are using which, I mean, you'll be training on the tools which the companies are using in the market. I mean, is there any particular tool the companies are using?
So see, there are two criterias are there. So one is open source and one is licensed ones, right? So licensed one tools we cannot take as a part of this, training program. The reason is, you people are just freshers and the cost is very high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the modern DevOps world or modern technology stack, people are coming out of the licensed products. They are more happy to use the open source products. So we have chosen open source products, and like for a different areas in the DevOps, we have a multiple tools available. For example, like CI, the orchestration layer, we have a Jenkins tool available, but parallel to Jenkins, we have TeamCity available, we have Bamboo available, we have Cruise Control available. So we have picked up the tool which is widely used in market, which has great features enabled, and which is easy to integrate, easy to understand. So let's say out of 4 tools, we have picked up 1 tool for each area. So as I told, we are going to pick 10 tools for 10 different areas, wherein we have 40 options available in market.
So I mean, if we learn one tool, so I mean, can we easily adopt to another tool?
Yeah. So it's like, if you know how to drive one four-wheeler, then easily you can drive other four-wheelers. But when you learn the four-wheelers, you pick the four-wheeler which is, easy to drive, which is less in cost, and which has more and great features enabled. So same way, if you learn one tool, you'll be able to understand other tools as well.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So any other thing, or shall I move forward?
Yeah, you can move.
Okay, thank you. So moving to the goals of DevOps, key improvements. So whatever philosophy or a culture change or whatever, different tools are given by DevOps. So these are the few improvements which people are noticing and, getting benefited with this DevOps culture. So reduce testing time. So if I'll go back to 2-3 years back or 4 years back, testing was a big painful area in the market. For example, like when I was a developer, after I had written the code, then it has to go for testing. So let's say I have a 10,000 test cases which were identified, which has to run before we'll be moving a single feature into the production. Then it used to take 3 days or 4 days just to complete the testing cycle. So when testers, they are doing the testing work, that time all other teams are sitting idle. If I would say operations team, they are consuming themselves into the operations work, but development teams, they were sitting idle. They didn't have anything to do because until unless that change would be tested, they cannot certify the code. One problem was this, and that 3-4 days time was like too much, and like it was very hard to digest for higher management. Hey, you are just, for a small change, the testing is taking 3-4 days because they understand on one feature prospect, but the testers, they were understanding on the integration prospect, like whether all the downstream, upstream applications, how they are behaving with the change. So this testing time was huge. So with the help of DevOps, different techniques, we have reduced the testing time. So we are not get rid out of the testing, but we have just reduced the times. So for one of my engagement wherein I worked, so their testing was taking 3-4 days of time. After we adopted DevOps tools and technologies, we have reduced, we have reached from 3-4 days to 3-4 hours, by automating all the stuff. So you can see the savings, 3 days to 3-4 hours. So big saving by doing a small investment of a tool or just to train your team members. Like this is a kind of automation scripts are there. You have to just use this tool and automate your the testing part. So big savings are there. It's a great improvement by putting the DevOps tools and technologies. The second thing is reduce the number of changes and defects. So like in the earlier world, legacy world, what was happening was when a feature was getting delivered, after the feature was delivered in the productions, we were able to see the surprises. the feature is not working as expected, or the feature is not up to the mark, it's not showing the great quality what was expected. Unnecessary incidents were coming, unnecessary defects were coming, because we were doing a big bang releases, 3 months releases, 4 months releases. Let's say in 3 months release or 4 months releases, 10 defects are coming. So it was like a big number for business to digest, and again you have to carry forward that 10 defects into the next release. So your feature will be postponed or postponing for again 3 months or 4 month cycle. So again in DevOps we have reduced the deployment life cycle or SDLC life cycle. So in 2 weeks or 3 weeks span of time only you will come to know any defect is there, an incident is there, and you will be pushing or carry forward that defect or incident just for 3 weeks, not for 3 months. So you can easily deliver your change within a short span of time again, whether it's incident or a defect. And the next thing is design the simplest solution, no gold plating. So gold plating, I'm referring here unnecessary layers. Like if I'll go back again in the legacy model, developers, they were writing the code, they were just duplicating the code. Unnecessary, they were putting the comments which were not required. Unnecessary, they were writing the classes which were not required. Unnecessary, they were writing the features which were not actually required. Maybe it's a similar kind of feature they would have seen here and there, and they were writing that features. So like in the development world, people say proudly that I am working in a code base which is having size of 5 MB, 10 MB or 20 MB. So unnecessarily they were putting the development layers which are not actually required. So that is a term we are referring here, no gold plating. The piece of code which is actually required has to be written. So with the help of DevOps, we have few tools which will do a quick audit of your code, and which will say this code is unwanted code. We have to remove this code from your code base. So with this, we are making your code base lightweight, portable, less error prone, and unnecessary code won't be there. And like one more thing, for example, like people are going to the cloud, people are going to the open source tools. Your code can be easily hackable. So we have few tools available in the DevOps world. We should do a kind of complete scan of your code, and we should certify your code that this code cannot be hackable outside the world. This, if you will expose this code or the website to the outside world, easily people cannot track the changes. So many more things we can do with the help of DevOps. So that is what we are referring here, no gold plating. The next thing is recreate robust production systems. So now our releases are short, we are delivering changes on time in the faster feedbacks. So indirectly we are making our production systems more robust and more stable, since there are no bugs, no defects, no incidents, or if defects, incidents are there, we are fixing them in a short span of time. So we are actually improving our systems to make them robust and scalable. The next thing is improve the performance of individuals and teams. Now since our dev teams, operations teams, testing teams, they are working together. So in this DevOps or agile principles, we are utilizing each and every resource. Like in the earlier world, when they were developing, testers were idle for some time. When testers, they were doing testing, developers were idle. When your code is released into the operations areas, like in the production, that time dev and QA teams, they were idle for some time. So we are not able to utilize them fully. So their bandwidth was not getting consumed completely, and we were not able to utilize them fully. So with the help of DevOps, we are able to utilize them fully. The next is fix the root cause instead patching to fix the symptoms. So again, like earlier, we were identifying a change to be fixed or a defect to be fixed after a 3-month span of time. So we were trying to just give a patch rather than doing the root cause analysis, because the cycle was close to 3-4 months. We were not getting actual time to do a root cause analysis when the defect was coming in production. Now since the cycle has become shorter, the delivery has become faster, then easily we can do a root cause analysis, because we have time to do all these things. So we are giving a robust solution anyhow. So these are the few key improvement areas which were identified. So any questions on this, like what is the key improvements, because this is a very important part and I would like everyone to understand thoroughly this part, because definitely this will help you, when you will be explaining, when you will be going for your interview processes. People would ask about what is the key improvements you got by DevOps, why DevOps and why it's so beneficial. So any questions on this?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, actually you said that we can reduce the testing time.
Right.
So when compared to before, like agile process of waterfall, like not before DevOps, they use it to take like 2 to 3 days for testing, right?
Right, right.
And right now because of we are using tools, we are reducing time. So those tools will be used in which domain, like development side or testing side? Who will use those tools, and how we can reduce the time?
Okay, good question. So let's say you are a developer, you are developing a code. Okay.
Okay.
So that same, feature spec or feature specification document will be shared with your testing team also.
Okay.
So in parallel to the development teams, testing team will also be developing their testing scripts, automation testing scripts. So in the market, we have two tools available, ALM UFT, which is given by HP, and there is another open source tool is there called Selenium. I mean, Selenium is nothing but an automation tool to automate your testing steps.
Okay.
So while you are developing as a developer your features, tester must be developing the testing scripts parallel to your feature. So at the end of the day or end of the sprint, when you are delivering the feature, the tester must be delivering the automation script for a particular feature. So let's say we have 100 developers are there. So 100 parallel different testing scripts will also be delivered along with that. So 100 testers effort can be tested within a span of few minutes or few hours by running these automated test cases. So if I'll run or if I'll do a kind of testing, integration testing out of this 100 developers effort, then again it will take 1.5 day or 2 days time in a typical scenario. But with the help of this testing automation tools or techniques, we will able to test their effort in a very short span. So this is how these testing tools are, doing a great help in terms of reducing the testing time.
Okay.
So does it answer your question?
Yeah, and then after testing is finished, then it is passed to operation teams, right?
There are multiple things in between. I'll tell you
Okay.
based on my example. So I'm not sure, I didn't share that example with you because you are just college graduates. So after your development is over, then your code has to go through multiple environments. Like first developer, they'll be writing their code into the dev environment, then it goes to QA environment, then it goes to UAT environment or a staging environment, then pre-prod environment and the prod environment. So prod is the place wherein most of the operation teams are planted. Okay, so it goes to QA environment. It has to be tested thoroughly through by testers over there in the QA environment. When it goes to SIT environment or a UAT environment, then that same piece of code has to be tested by user acceptance testing like business people. Then pre-prod environment, it has to be tested or it has to go through multiple integration testing mechanism. So different phases are there, different environments are there. So for each kind of testing, automation scripts can be written. Let's say your code is being stamped or tested in the dev environment, then it goes to QA environment. Parallel to your QA environment requirement, testing scripts are written. Then when it goes to pre-prod or UAT or SIT, there again the particular set of test cases would be written. Like that it goes to till production. So again, everywhere our testing scripts are automated, so we can do a testing within a short span of time.
Okay.
So does it answer your question?
Yeah, I got an idea.
Okay. So like, as and when we'll move and tomorrow probably I'll take a real-time example on continuous integration and delivery. I was thinking not to take because you guys are not from the real, development experience areas, but I'll pick small bits and pieces so that you'll get better understanding.
Yeah.
So any other question from your side, Dej? Okay. If no questions from your side, then I'll shoot few questions from my side before we'll move on to the next slide. So Siddharth, what is your understanding on the DevOps so far? Like, what do you think? What is the good thing? What are the challenging things in DevOps? What are the key benefits in the DevOps? What are the improvements are in the DevOps? What is your takeaway from so far what we have discussed?
Yeah, in a single statement, I can say that like if we enter into the DevOps team, like we can reduce time to get any change in any product, and we can make in shorter time period, and will become familiar in different fields. So all the processes will be running simultaneously to reduce time and to give more efficiency of the product.
Okay. Okay. Good answer.
Yeah.
So Mofika, from your side, what is your understanding?
I think we can increase the customer satisfaction by reducing the testing time, by reporting the bugs. We can reduce the time. That's what I learned about DevOps. And it's a bridge between our development and operation. So I think it's an interface, it acts as interface between development and operation. And it's easy to detect the bugs. That's what I learned about DevOps so far.
Okay. Yeah, that's it all about DevOps.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, this is just a definition part, but as in like we'll progress in the session, you will come to know many more things. I just kept this session, short and crisp, with only concentrating about the here and there of the SDLC lifecycle. So you guys will come to know at least like what is DevOps and why it has come in picture. So Anudeep, what is your thought?
Firstly, I would say that DevOps is a change, as you said. So I think that's really good thing. And even you gave an example about Nokia. I saw the Nokia CEO speech. He gave a statement that I don't know what's wrong with us, but he really felt sad by about their company failure. So they have not adapted to the new technologies, so that ultimately they have become a failure in the market. So if you take the DevOps, so obviously it has many advantages, so that it can increase the company's production. As you said that
Anudeep, can you repeat the last two statements? I think there was some disturbance around.
yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
And so you said that a developer will be sitting idle, tester will be sitting idle. So so if we use these DevOps technologies, so that everything gets faster, so that ultimately company also they can release their product fastly into the market. So ultimately customers also get satisfied.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say.
Yeah. I think you all understood very well. But yes, in tomorrow's session, you'll actually understand what is the different terms in DevOps, like continuous integration, continuous deployment, delivery, assessment, continuous operations, what are the tools are there, many other things. We'll discuss more tomorrow. Okay, moving to the next slide. I mean, so far it went fine, great. So, I mean, very important questions. What is the DevOps possibilities in market? I mean, you people are here to attend this session because you are, having a great glimpse of DevOps and great impression of DevOps, which is very true. And if you'll see in my screen, there is a graph which is given by Gartner. So Gartner, they are great predictioners in market. They annually they publish their reports on different domains and technologies, stating about what is the market trend and where market is moving, what are the future technologies. In the particular technologies, how much market was acquired by a particular company or a particular technology. So I would advise you to go to the Gartner site once in a week at least to understand what is the new trends, because you are just landing into the market, like in the IT field. So maybe it will help you to clear your interviews and to get more and a better understanding of the market. So I'll read this statement. Gartner says by 2016, DevOps will evolve from a niche to mainstream strategy employed by 25% of global 2000 organizations. So as you see in the graph also, by 2016, 25% companies are already adopted out of this global 2000 organization, the DevOps principles. As like so far we've discussed, DevOps is not a technology. It can be adopted by any domain, any technology. So scope is there everywhere. Let's say in the market, let's say I would say 1 million companies are there in across the globe, India, US, UK, Europe market. Then every company, they have a scope to adopt this fashion or a culture or a philosophy. This will give them just results quicker, like maybe a small investment and the results will be much more. So this is a great market. People are predicted already, and where the market is moving again on the DevOps. So if you'll see in the graph side, by end of 2019, the growth is anticipated by 70% market acquisition. So by Gartner, they says by end of 2019, 70% of the companies, they will be moving in the DevOps fashion, DevOps and Agile fashion. And yesterday when I was preparing this slide, I got one more statement from a reputed firm that 80% of global Fortune 1000 organization expected to adopt DevOps by 2019. So this CA, they are a reputed firm. They are telling by 2019, 80% of the global Fortune 1000 organization, they'll be moving to the DevOps. So I would say a great future for you guys if you land now only in the DevOps world, and great learning opportunities are there for you, as people who are new to the industry. Even for experienced people also, I would say, like in my company wherein I'm working, I see daily people are approaching us for our DevOps areas. Can we join your team? There are a lot of learning opportunities are there. We would see a great future. We can make fast money, and we can leverage all these skills in our own portfolios. So yeah, so people are really excited about the DevOps, and people are trying to land in this market. And I would say welcome to the DevOps world. If you have any suggestions or anything new you would like to understand apart from the tools what we'll be discussing, we'll happy to include that small things as a part of curriculum based on the duration of the curriculum. And any suggestions will always be welcomed. So this ends with today's presentation. So any questions from your side? I mean, so far we've discussed many things, but any particular question you would like to raise here?
Yeah, I have some questions. Yeah, actually, as you said before, we'll go with 30% theoretical classes and 70% with practical classes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for today, what you have said is clearly, I understood clearly. But my you explained the central all the process. What is DevOps? Like what my request is, if you take one example like any product, and if you explain, then we'll get clear crystal idea.
Okay.
Like I mean, for example, if you take Apple iPhone. Before we have 5S, now 6S, 7S. Yeah. Some of it will change. What you have said before, nothing but the change. Because of the change, the growth is high. So if you take any of the example, like what they'll do in the development side, for example, any phone, like only a shorter idea, not in depth, but like what they'll do in development side, testing side, just to get an idea. And one more thing, like before I choose this technology, like this chain DevOps, Even I got like we have to be thorough in through Linux commands and AWS. So these are some of the certifications that we should go. So how these are all related. So if you give me a short idea, then I'll be good. It would be helpful to me.
So yeah, so answer to your questions, come to the AWS part. So AWS is a world, in the DevOps umbrella, there are a lot of things are there. We have rules for admins, system admins who take care of your firewall part, your, ITO part. And the second thing is the next in the umbrella, the next part is CI/CD part, wherein multiple tools are there, and third part is cloud.
Okay.
So in this curriculum, we are covering the basic concepts of cloud, but we will not be covering, actual AWS certification part, because that is, kind of separate training program. If I just land into the cloud, maybe you will not able to connect the dots. Okay. First you have to go through what are the important CI/CD tools are there. I'm opening a slide. Okay, here we have identified all the tools which we are going to teach. So I'll suggest you or request you first understand all these tools, the basic tooling mechanism. What is your source code management, what is your CI tools, CM tools, monitoring tools, your build script or your central repository, what is your provisioning tools. Once you are comfortable in these areas, then it will be added advantage to land into the AWS. For example, I am an interviewer, and if someone would come directly to me and say, I know AWS, I will say, hey buddy, do you know about what is SCM, what is orchestration layer, how you'll provision the environments. Okay, AWS is a cloud and it gives facility to provision a server, but you don't know the underneath layer, how the server works, what is the networking mechanism, how Linux concepts work. Okay, and like, do you know about the OpenStack, how configuration management tools will automate your tasks. So all these things you may not be knowing. So this is the step-by-step process. First you should understand the basic tools. Once you are confident, comfortable, then you should go for AWS training. But in this session, like in this curriculum training program, we'll cover basics like what is cloud, how SaaS, PaaS, IaaS criteria are there, which will fit in where. So basic idea will give. But AWS high level explanation is a separate training program, and I would request don't go immediately for the certification program. First understand what is DevOps. Okay. Because when you will go for any discussion, no one will directly talk to you on AWS. They'll say what is your understanding on DevOps, all these things. Okay, and the second thing you asked about the Linux concepts. So Linux concepts, like as you are coming from the college, so I think basic understanding everyone will have, but we'll be practicing everything on the Linux machine. Like I'll send you tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow a document to spin up or to provision a new machine in your laptop only. We'll use Vagrant for that. Okay. So here in this course curriculum, we are using Vagrant as a kind of tool. So directly I'll ask you to spin up a machine on the Vagrant. You need not to spin a machine or to pay for the cloud subscription. You can just spin up your machine on your laptop only or whatever, laptop or desktop, whatever you are using. So there we'll practicing most of the things on Linux side. So it will brush up your Linux skills. But basic things we can sometime whenever we are free, like let's say our class we have planned for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and sometime we are able to finish it earlier. We'll pick small things of Linux. That will help you to understand Linux part also. Okay. But by end of this session, you'll be comfortable with all the basic Linux command, the basic Linux architecture, structure, all these things will be covering. We have a 30-40 hours to cover everything. So a small part will pick daily, and by end of the session, you'll be comfortable in Linux side also. Yeah. And one more thing which you didn't mention, but I would like to mention that we should understand networking part also. So not as a part of this curriculum, but when you will be landing into the cloud, you should know networking part also. So wherever you will be opting for the cloud certification course or a cloud training program, that time you can talk about the networking concepts also. Okay. Okay. And one more thing, you talked about some real-time example I have to take. So when we'll be moving on to the tools discussion part, we'll go with the example, real-time examples only. Today just we have covered the theoretical part. So I thought there is no point coming a Apple example or a Nokia in detail example, or maybe Facebook is going, for example, like in the screen you would see a chef tool is there. So this tool is widely used by Amazon and Facebook. So when we go in detail, I'll be little bit touching the architecture part also, like what is their architecture and how real-time architecture looks like. All these things we'll touch upon.
Okay.
Yeah. So hope it's clear, or anything else is there in?
I'm good from my side.
Okay. So any other questions from other participants?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
I mean, at the end of the training, I mean, you will make us to do any projects or something. Can we expect any project? I mean, to understand the real-time world. So if you do any projects or something, so that would be helpful to us.
See, what I will do is, like, I can pick a real-time case study. Okay. So case study in the sense, I'll pick a particular piece of code and I'll explain you how that code can be used along with all these tools. Right? Like in DevOps world, like for example in development world, you will be having a kind of dummy project and you have to complete at the end of your development training program. But here we have multiple tools are there. So we have to see how these tools can be configured or can be used along with the particular piece of code. We'll take some dummy application which is open source, which is easily available on the internet. We'll use that application for source code management to use with Jenkins, Gradle, Maven, Nexus, Rundeck, with Puppet, Chef, everything. So along with the course, we'll pick that particular real-time example which will make you comfortable. And at the end of the training program, we'll discuss few of the case studies. I understand for your interview purpose and just to make you comfortable when you will be going for interviews, that real-time case studies will help you.
Yeah.
Okay, for let's say I'm an interviewer, I'll ask you, okay, how you have used Chef, how you have used Vagrant. So that real-time example you can code there because you have understood that POC or the case study very well. So you can code the examples over there and it looks very much natural.
Yeah, that's what. See, I mean, to be honest, here, I mean, in the States, first we'll try for full times. If that doesn't work out, means we need to go to consultancy. So those guys will definitely have 5 to 6 years of experience. So that definitely the interviewer, he'll be questioning us in depth. So
No, that part I think you leave it to me. End of the session, I'll pick 1 or 2 classes, okay, wherein I'll show you few of the real-time case studies. I'll not do a, I'll not be touching with that case study all the tools, but just for the interview preparation, I'll let you know that particular SCM part, they could ask these kind of questions. For build script part, they could ask these kind of questions, and how you relate with the case study. So all these sessions will take it, no problem.
yeah. And do you provide any material? I mean, any the complete?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, material will be providing you, and I'll help you to download. Since most of the softwares are open source, so I'll help you to download, configure, do a hands-on on these softwares. Plus theoretical material will be providing you. Not a detailed theoretical material, but good material which will help you to kick off the things.
Yeah, okay, that's.
So anything else from other participants? Guys, feel free to ask anything because this is your forum and you are going to adopt this, this DevOps technology for your future curriculum. So any questions, any doubt, please raise.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, do we need to code in this? You said like there's no coding, but still, do we need to know any coding part or something for this one?
See, tooling part, most likely 90% you need not to know any code. Okay. But along with all the tools part, I will request you to learn one script. Python is very hot in market. Okay, so little bit Python you should know when you go for your interviews. then people may ask about scripting part. Like for my case, when people come to me, I usually don't ask scripting part if they know the tooling part. But I would say it's, I mean, toppings on top of your ice cream.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Okay. Is
At
it
least
like
one.
basic level, or should I know in depth about
No,
Python?
basic level.
Okay.
If you are interested, I'll give you a few exercises. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not going to teach you, but if you're able to finish that exercises, you will have good, knowledge on that particular script. I mean, Python is very famous in market, and like in my projects, real-time projects wherein I work, people usually demand for Python only. It's a platform independent and a lot of embedded feature for DevOps. So if you want that kind of help, I'll provide you few of the exercises that you can do it by your own, and at like end of the finishing of exercises, you'll be comfortable in that script. But no need to learn the advanced part, the basic part. You guys are freshers, or
Okay.
maybe very less experience you have. So when you land into the DevOps market or when you go for your basic interview things, no one will ask you advanced things.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else on Siddharth, your side?
Yeah, I'm good.
So Siddharth good, Anudeep good, Mafika good. So I think everyone is good for today's session.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Saurabh, if there is no question, uh, I mean, shall we discuss a little bit on the tooling part?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. So can anyone explain about this picture which is there on the screen? Anudeep, you can just let me know what is your understanding on this picture, then I'll add few things over there.
Yeah, I mean, completely everything is related. I mean, it's just like uh, something like waterfall model or something like that. So first, it's going on every stage. First source control, then CA tools, build. So, so everything is related.
Okay. Mafika, what is your understanding on this?
I think the user is accessing the Git repository and then using the CI tools like Jenkins, Bamboo. Then using that integration, we are building an application or something. And after that, everything is stored in central repository. And then they're using CM tools. I don't know what is it exactly, CM, but they're using Chef and Puppet. After that, there's a triggering part involved. I think they're storing all the information in the Docker container or Amazon, something like that. And then it is sent to server side for maintaining and testing. And of course, there's a monitoring tool involved, like Ganglia and Narcos. I think that's what I understood. I mean, I'm not having a clear picture, but I mean, from the picture I could make out only this. I might be wrong too. I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Even it looks you have done already few research on DevOps side, right?
Yeah, not much, but I mean, a little bit.
No, that's good. That's good. I'll add few points more wherein you were not having the great understanding. Siddharth, your side, what is your understanding on this?
Yeah, here we are using particular tools in order to fulfill gaps between development side, testing side, and operation sides. So because of the utilization of those tools, we can reduce time and we can satisfy all those DevOps advantages.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that is how somewhat we can relate with this particular picture. So yeah, I'll start, so anyone has worked on any of the development project? Either of you? I mean,
Development in sense like, okay.
in your college days, you would have got chance to work on Java, J2E,
Yeah, of
.NET.
course, Java. Yeah. Eclipse.
So
I've used
Eclipse.
Eclipse. Yeah.
So you were having some understanding on the development projects, right?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I do have some little bit, not much, but little bit.
What about Anudeep and Siddharth? Do you have anything in your mind?
Not no much.
Not much.
No, I haven't done any software related projects.
Okay. What about Siddharth? You?
No, actually I'm from electrical engineering, so
Uh,
I didn't do any projects related to software.
mm. So Mafika, what you used to do? Like you used to just code in Eclipse and
Mm-hmm.
what was the way? I mean, how you used to store your code? How you used to build your code? What was that?
I use Eclipse, so every time I code there in Eclipse, and then I used to run it.
And where you used to keep your code?
Um, Java folder inside that
Okay.
JDK,
Okay.
Java Development Kit.
JDK kit is
Yes,
there. Okay, you are keeping in your Java folder,
yeah.
right? And what was the have you worked on core Java or J2E?
Mostly core Java.
Mostly core Java. Okay. So let's say in my screen, my cursor is there on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is you in typical development life cycle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are here. Now you have developed your code. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
today you are developing your code and you are keeping that files in your local system.
Okay.
Okay. After 2 months, you got a new requirement and you have developed X+1 code
Mm-hmm.
working on some same code base. Now your file has become X+1. Earlier it was X, now few more features have been added X+1. Now again after 2 months, you got a requirement, you have to go back on X. First
Okay.
you have come from X to X+1. After two
Mm-hmm.
months, when you are about to land on X+2, you have been asked to move on X. How you will go? How you will remember what you have done 2 months back or 4 months back?
Mm, maybe I can access the folder and then take a look at it.
You have overridden your folders, right?
Oh, okay.
By GitHub.
So that is what I was trying to ask here.
Okay.
So Git or GitHub? Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I was asking, where you are storing your code.
Okay.
So you have
GitHub
to store
repository.
your code. I
Okay.
mean, GitHub is a public repository. If you are
Mm-hmm.
using it, you are able to share it to your friends also.
Mm-hmm.
It is your local repository.
Okay.
So we'll cover Git, GitHub both,
Mm-hmm.
but I've kept it Git here. So Git is a version control system or source control management system, SCM tool this is.
Mm-hmm.
So Git is covered here. So there are many other tools are there, like 8 and 10 years back SVN was very famous. So if you'll go to any legacy project, still like if I'll see in my company, when we go for transformation, most of the projects are on SVN. And the third important tool is Visual Studio, Team Foundation Server. So Team Foundation Server is nothing but TFS. This is a Microsoft tool, but this is heavy licensed product. So usually people who have, I mean people in the sense, industry people who have money, they only go for this tool. Mid-level or low, small level organization, they usually don't go with TFS. So in this source code management system, we have three tools majorly. We have some other tools also, but I've listed three tools. But for us, like this training program, we will be going with Git because as you all know, Git is very famous in market, widely used in market. Most of the features embedded in the Git, and plus it's open source at some extent. I mean, you need not to pay for your learning purpose, and for a small scale organization, they need not to pay. So Git is very famous in the market. So source code management part will pick Git. So clear for everyone why source code management is there, and we'll be
Yes.
picking this tool. Yeah. Next, moving to the CI tools. CI tool is continuous integration tool. So CI definition I'll cover tomorrow's session, but we have few tools are there: Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity. There is one more tool called cruise control is there, but I haven't mentioned here because I wanted to show minimum strong tools. And fourth is sonar. So Jenkins, this is nothing but an underneath system in the DevOps world. This is the kind of backbone in the DevOps world, wherein all tools will be talking about. You know, you want to talk to Git, the Jenkins will be the medium. You want to talk to Gradle or Apache Maven, then Jenkins is a medium. You want to talk to Rundeck, Jenkins is a medium. CM tools, again Jenkins could be a medium. Nexus, Jenkins is a medium. Docker, Vagrant, Amazon, Jenkins could be a medium. So this is a kind of backbone for everyone. So theoretical part I'll cover when we'll move on the Jenkins, but this is like orchestration layer for entire DevOps model. And this is widely used and it has thousands of plugins. And Mufika, like as you are a developer, sometime you would think that you have to write your own plugin, you have to release your own patents, you will be developing your own product. So it has a very well mechanism available to integrate your own plugins. Okay, so thousands of plugins are there since open source. For each and every tool, for integration purpose, people have written their own plugins. So I mean, if we would like to integrate with any script also, plugins are there. So as and when we progress, we'll more learn about these plugins. So this CI tools Jenkins will be covering. Now Sonar. So Sonar is mainly used for code quality checks. So code quality checks, I am referring, you know, when developers they write the code, they do some duplication of the code. They write unnecessary classes. They don't write unit test cases for, you know, piece of code they are writing. They are not following the coding standard which are given by SCJP. You know, indentation, case sensitiveness, small you know things which PMD, check style, you know, find bugs, and little small things which, you know, developers they don't really bother, and at later point of time they'll end up with so many surprises in production. So Sonar is a kind of audit tool which will check or do a kind of audit of your product in the pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, and which will tell you whether your code is up to the mark and passing the criteria or not. So in this like training program we'll be covering the CI, Jenkins and Sonar. So I think clear for CI tool side. Okay, I think should be clear. Next, moving to the build script. So we have multiple build scripts available in market, like Apache Maven is there, Gradle is there, Ant is there, and apart from that there is one more script called Grunt is there, which I haven't mentioned here because that is script is most likely used for CSS, JSS file builds. So anyone has got any idea what is builds here? Mufika, Siddharth, Anudeep, what is builds? Any idea?
I think it's like a framework.
Okay. Okay.
I think Maven, it's a framework for Java.
Okay. Little bit. Anudeep, Siddharth, any idea?
No, I don't have any idea.
Okay. So, you know, when you are writing your code, then your code has to be converted into the machine understandable language, like binary languages, right? 0 and 1 it has to be converted, so that whenever you would like to deploy in any place, the machine should be able to understand in the forms of binary. Okay. So these are building scripts which will convert your code. Like when you were working on the Eclipse, you would have written somewhere, you know, particular scripts to resolve the dependencies or to create the artifacts. Artifacts as in like .jar file, .var file, you know, other extension file, which we call it as a artifacts. So Maven is a framework to do a builds. You know, Maven is mainly meant for Java-based projects, and they have a great dependency management feature available. Okay, so it's a framework to do the builds for mainly Java-based projects, but nowadays few plugins have come to integrate it with .NET projects, TIPCO projects, middleware projects. So many more things have come here, but since we are targeting here mainly Java, so we'll go with the Java-based applications projects over here. And Ant is like legacy technology, not much used in market, and Gradle is like very advanced technology which people are not using widely in the markets. But if someone would like to understand a little bit on Gradle, we can touch upon sometime. Now moving to the central repository part. So central repository is a place wherein you can upload your artifacts, like once the final artifacts are built, your var, jar, deals are available. You have to keep somewhere so that as and when it will require, you'll pick the particular artifacts. So like all the artifacts are going with the particular version number. Like today I am building some artifacts, so it will go and store over there with the particular version number 1.0.1, and tomorrow when I'll be building it will go with 1.0.2. Like that it will be stored over there. And after 6 months, let's say I want to test a particular feature. For example, like this year Christmas, I have deployed a particular feature. Now next year again in the Christmas time, I have to redeploy the feature which I deployed last year, which was very famous and by which I made huge money. So I can go and check in the central repository like which feature was deployed last year will be present in the central repository or not. I can pick the feature and I can deploy the particular feature, and I can pick the particular feature by the help of different version numbers, so that we have to maintain somewhere. So that is how central repository is an important component in this architecture. The next is the provisioning part. So provisioning part, like like in the legacy world, people or your ITO team, infrastructure team, they used to spin up a machine for you. They used to use different hypervisor. VMware is there, and Zen machines is there, sandboxes are there. So they have to spin up a machine for you. But in now modern DevOps world, you need not to go to ITO people. You can spin up your machine by yourself. So there are multiple tools available in market for that, like Docker is there, Vagrant is there, Amazon is there, and Microsoft Azure is there. So for this classroom program, training program, we have picked up Docker and Vagrant. Both have its own utilization, different features available, but I thought it's a best fit for this training program. And Vagrant will be using from Monday only, because you all have to spin up a new machine to create your environment wherein you can practice and do a hands-on. And Docker is like something containers in market. So anyone has an idea about containers? Mofika, any idea?
No, I don't have much idea about it. I know it's a container service, but I don't have much idea about it.
Okay, so in virtual machines, like we have a restriction, like we need this much of minimum memory and minimum space to spin up a machine. So it's like a unnecessary costly operations for everyone to spin up a new machine. Rather, in the same space wherein we can spin up 4 machines, in the same space we can easily spin up 40 to 100 containers. So a lot of savings are there in terms of cost, in terms of memory, in terms of stability when you use containers. So when we'll go in the course like curriculum, we'll discuss more about this part. And coming to the configuration management part, we have multiple tools here: Ansible, Solvexis, Puppet, and Chef is there. So we have chosen Chef here for this training program. The reason is Chef is widely used in the market, most famous in the market, and little bit okay to learn. I would not say easy to learn, but yeah, I mean, if I'll choose Puppet, Puppet is a little bit hard to understand, and nowadays it has become obsolete in market. People are considering Puppet as a legacy tool, and Chef is like a kind of advanced tool and can cater multiple problems in the market which are there for the configuration management area or other things. And with the help of Chef, we can automate all these tasks, configuring Docker machines, spin up a Docker machine, spin up a Docker Vagrant environment. All these tasks can be automated with the help of Chef. But your level, it's not desired to know what is the automation steps to spin up a new machine, to spin up a new environment. But we'll discuss most important features of the Chef when we'll go in the Chef curriculum side. And coming to the monitoring tool side, Nagios and Ganglia. So we'll take a kind of small session on Nagios, like what is Nagios architecture, how Nagios can be integrated with multiple tools, but we may not take hands-on exercise on Nagios because again it's a different piece of tool within the DevOps umbrella. Like DevOps umbrella is used. System admins comes in DevOps umbrella, CI/CD guys comes in DevOps umbrella, cloud guys comes in DevOps umbrella, monitoring people comes in DevOps umbrella. So this falls under monitoring tools. So here in this session we'll be covering more on CI/CD. We'll not be covering in detail of cloud, we'll not be covering in detail of monitoring, because that is like again a big ocean and a lot of tools are there, but basic concepts we'll discuss and we'll concentrate more on CI/CD part. And coming to the curriculum part, so if I'll go to our website, so I think everyone would have gone through this website Solvexis, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I'll go to the course content site, yeah. So today we have covered few of the things like what is DevOps, history of DevOps, different DevOps definitions, DevOps and software development lifecycle. We have covered today this few important things. So tomorrow we'll be covering the other keywords and the flow of DevOps, like continuous integration, delivery, deployment, improvement, assessment, operations, and what are the tools and tools which we are going to discuss. So Git we'll be discussing, as a part of curriculum in Git. We'll be covering Git, what is Git, architecture of the Git, how we'll make the changes in the files, how we'll play with the small commands which are essential for a developer to learn, how we'll do the Git troubleshooting, little bit idea on the GitHub, how it's different from Git. Maven side will be covering introduction to Maven, repositories, different architecture, principal, dependencies, properties, how we'll be publishing artifacts, all these things. I mean, whatever important features are there, and if you have any doubts or any suggestions, we'll very well integrate in this session. Coming to the Jenkins, we'll be discussing all important feature of Jenkins, plugins, orchestration layer, important features, administration part, master slave configurations. So these things will be covering here. SonarQube will be covering here important plugins, integration with Jenkins. There's a dashboard where we can see what is the code coverage, what is the defects which are given into the code, how we can set the threshold. I understand these terms are not familiar with you, but yes, as and when we'll progress, we'll go in depth, we'll understand more. So next side we'll be covering the architecture part, the hands-on exercises, versioning part, publishing part, these things. And Vagrant from Monday only we'll start using Vagrant, so hands-on experience we'll be getting from Monday only, but in detail what are the Vagrant features, we'll take it when we'll be coming to the Vagrant part. So Docker part we'll understand like what is the architecture, how it's different from virtualization, what is the important features, how Docker Hub works, what are the different listing and inspecting mechanism is there, how networking concepts are there, how volume concepts are there, all these things we'll be covering. Rundeck part, it's again a kind of deployment tool. So we'll discuss here high-level features of Rundeck, because Rundeck is not highly used in the market, but it's a good fit for when we use the Chef or Puppet. So we'll touch upon that Rundeck and we'll understand how it's integrated with Jenkins and Chef, how access management is there, how we can create multiple jobs, how we can cater multiple operations problem. And when it comes to Chef, we'll be covering the configuration management part, why Chef, when Chef, important features of Chef, how it will touch base with the cloud, the theoretical concept with the cloud, how bootstrapping nodes will be there, different features, roles, environments. And in the last and like end of the session, we'll be covering interview preparation, like as we discussed, what kind of support you need, we'll provide that. And training support, like at a later point of time, if you have any doubts or something, I'll share my email IDs or Solvexis, they'll share their details. So you can come at any point of time and we can clear the doubts with whatever we have learned in the training program. So any questions here, any suggestions here from either of you? Siddharth, Anudeep, Mafika?
I'm good.
Yeah, nothing. It's good.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to the few principles that we have written when we started. So definition of done, like today we have discussed about whatever the topics we thought of discussing, and I have taken few of the examples also. Like Nokia we've discussed, and one of you raised about the Apple thing, and I was able to address few of the things. So hands-on exercises were not required for today's case because it's like more in theoretical concepts, but I try to make you understand what is DevOps, and we address the question answers.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything?
No, we are good.
Okay, so rules we have, today it was like more of theoretical, so I wanted to interact with each and everyone, and I wanted you people to comfortable with, all of us, so that without any hesitation in the upcoming classroom training programs, sorry, this online training programs, we'll able to raise our questions. So I was trying to make this session more interactive. That's why I didn't use or follow this rule, type in chat window once topic finished, we'll raise the questions and we'll discuss about the questions. So few rules I followed, like I was asking you few questions, you were asking me few questions, and we were waiting for topics to be finished, but we were not religiously practicing this rule, type in chat window. But when we'll go for the tools part, like when the Git or other tools we'll be discussing, that time we'll follow this rule and we'll make this session more interactive. I think most of the things we have covered, whatever we have designed to discuss today, and whatever I wanted you to know, I have covered most of the things. So Saurabh, you want to add anything? I mean, if anything you would like to discuss more, or you want to add something?
Okay, I'm very sorry I was not there in the entire session, so I recently joined. But I think if everybody is fine from the today's session, as you already mentioned your definition of done, which is really good. So yeah, I mean, you guys have a good idea now what is DevOps and all, right? So Mafika, Anudeep, Siddharth,
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
you get a good
Yes, sir,
idea
yes, sir.
about like what what is the thing which you are going to learn and how you are going to land it over there. So I believe,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. Anudeep, from your side,
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah.
It's good. It's
All
good.
right. And Siddharth, what about you? You understand this
Yeah,
DevOps,
even
what the DevOps world is all about?
yeah,
Yeah.
even I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, see, this is just the first class. So from the first class, we just get a very overview kind of thing. We just get an umbrella kind of the picture, the big umbrella. Now, as the class proceeds related to each and every technology, related to each and everything. So first class is a very overview kind of thing where we just visualize what all things are included under this technology or platform or the training program. And when we proceed slowly, so we'll get a good idea into this, right? So yeah, but one thing I noticed, I mean, please guys, please interact, all right? You just have 3 participants. I'm not going to add more into this. Might be just one. She's a lady. She won't be able to join today. So you just have 4 or 5 participants. That's what our process is. And please feel free to interact as much as you can. Use your platform, use your time. And yeah, that's how it goes, right? All right. So, Vinith, I think we are good to go. Let's, meet tomorrow. Same time, guys, and same place, same time. Tomorrow again. Yeah, that's how
So
it
I
goes.
think it's Saturday for us.
Yeah.
I
Today
mean,
is Friday night for you guys, I believe, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So our Sunday
Yeah, it's
morning.
Friday night, yeah.
Yeah. So today is our Saturday morning. It's 9 a.m. Saturday morning for us. We are from India. Me and Vinith, as of now. And you guys are happy to know Vinith is very soon, moving back to US. I think Vinith, where you are moving to in US, in which city?
Uh, I'll be probably in Boston,
Okay, Boston.
sort of.
Okay, okay,
Either Boston or Chicago.
okay, okay, that's fine. So yeah, tomorrow would be our Sunday morning, which would be your Saturday evening. So please take care of this timings, class timings as per your time zone, because
I mean,
might
you
be
said that
most of you are
Monday.
from, yeah.
You said that it's Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah, so that's why what I mentioned. This is just we started this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday to Friday. So you have tomorrow class, then day after tomorrow, which is Sunday, then Monday, then Tuesday and all, like that it goes. But we don't have, yeah. So then it would be only Monday to Friday class. Let's say 27th February is our Monday. Okay. Then the next weekend is on 4th of March. We don't have class on 4th and 5th, which is Saturday, Sunday for us. Right?
So Saurabh, I think people are confused here. Our 27th morning will be there Sunday evening.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I got it. I got your point.
That way they are thinking whether they have to take a class on weekends.
Okay. So okay. So let's say the classes would be Sunday to Thursday for you. Is it fine? I mean, Sunday to Thursday for you guys, so that it would be Monday to Friday for us.
Yeah, that's oh yeah, okay, I got it.
You got it right, Mofika. You got this thing, Siddharth. You understand?
And what about the timings?
Yeah.
What about the timings? Same timings.
Timings remains the same, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. As per your date and time zone, the classes would be from Sunday to Thursday, which would be our
Got it.
Monday to Friday. Timings would be 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST, the same time which you join it today. So tomorrow again you have class, and then till Thursday you have classes.
Got it.
All right. Then Friday, Saturday you don't have class. Then again Sunday you have class.
Okay.
Right? Got it, guys? Yeah. So she's my daughter. She wants to say hello to everyone. All right. She's just 1.5 years old. Okay. All right. So if you have any queries, guys, feel free to contact me anytime. You have my email ID. You have my phone number. All right. So I think we are good to go from today's session. If you have any other points, please let us know.
I'm good for today.
Saurabh, I would like to add one thing here. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll share a document with everyone in the participant list so that they can set up their own environment in their laptops. So whatever essential softwares are required, whatever installation steps are there, I'll be sharing to them so that they can manage from their side the installation part.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine, Vinith. I think that's really great, right? And because yes, as I mentioned, we are going to support you to set up all the required softwares, machines and all on your personal laptop so that you could practice at any time. And yeah, so that's really good, Vinith. I mean, if we could do this thing, and yeah. Fine, guys.
Yeah, wherever it is required, we'll be helping them. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be
if you're facing
ready with our environments on
if you're
Monday.
facing any issues in terms of while installing any issues and all, yeah, feel free to discuss within the class, right? And I think Vineet, as you conducted in last batch, you're also going to install some software during the training as well, right? You're going to show them, and they are going to at the same time they are going to do the hands-on, right? On their machine.
Yeah, so like apart from Docker, all other softwares are lightweight software. So Docker, I have to see the other options.
Okay.
Whether we have to give them a kind of image, or I'll see how much time it will take to install Docker on their machines. But yes, for other softwares, we'll help them to install in their machines, and I'll give a kind of demo also, and we'll give some kind of documentation also.
Okay.
For their future references.
Okay, that's fine. Fine, guys. Right. So, guys, any question from any one of you? Anudeep, Siddharth, Mofika, do you have any question?
That's it. I mean, I'm good.
Okay, sure. Anudeep, you have any question?
No. Good.
All right. Siddharth, anything from your side?
Yeah, even I'm good.
You're good. All right. So maybe let's end this session. It's already 9 a.m. over here to us. So maybe let's meet tomorrow again. Sure, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vineet. Thanks a lot for joining. If you have any question, feel free to contact me anytime. All right. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.